Hello and welcome to the Thread to Mend podcast. My name is Taylor and I'm coming to you from Baltimore, Maryland, and this is a podcast about all things fiber related. I do mostly touch on the subjects of knitting and spinning, and in this week's episode I just have a few things to show you, so it might be a little shorter than normal. The first is my finished nightingale sweater. This pattern is designed by Nora Gong and it was published in the winter 2018 Pom Pom magazine. I spun this sweater in my handspun yarn from a Cormo fleece. It's a it's a chain ply, so 3-plied yarn, and it is slightly variegated because I didn't quite blend the fiber. I think if I did the traditional 3-ply it would have been more consistent, but you live and you learn. So I think next time I knit or spin for a sweater, I'll do a traditional 3-ply just for that reason, to even out any variation in color. But it's pieced and finished and I'd love to show it to you. So this sweater is pattern is written for a worsted weight yarn. I think that if when I knit this pattern again, I would love to consider making it in Harrisville Designs, that, I forget, nightshades, that like black kind of woolen spun gorgeousness. So I think I might make another one in that if I come across that yarn. But my spinning was not the most consistent. This is only the first or second or third, this is my third or fourth handspun sweater, and I was spinning as I knit it, so I just couldn't stop myself from continuing forward without double checking my gauge. So I did save the lightest yarn for the upper sleeves because I knew that the tops of the sleeves were kind of bulky, and I didn't want it to be too bulky to wear underneath a different sweater in the winter time if I need like a lopey or something to throw over to run outside. I'm distracted by this kitten that I'd love to show you. She is biting my hand. This is Sultry Kitten. She is our newest addition to our household. She is from the alley, and I had her spayed and vaccinated through the Baltimore Community Cats program. So she has that ear tip after being spayed and vaccinated for rabies. I just got all of her other vaccinations done today, so she is ready for the world. And she is a snuggle bug when she's not playing because she's a kitten, and I can't wait for her to grow out of being a kitten. But yes, so she's actually really good about paws. She doesn't put her claws out unless she's like jumping onto you and thinks that you're just a piece of furniture and not live skin and bones. So she's not always gentle. When she's pawing at you, she's not so aggressive. Anyway, back to the sweater. So I'll just stand up really quick to show you its profile. So I did crop it, so it's a little shorter than the pattern. I just omitted all of the inches that you would knit after casting on. So I cast on, I established the pattern, and then I went straight into the chart. And I feel like the sleeves, because the more lighter weight yarn was used to knit the upper sleeves, they don't really stand out as much as others might, but they are, nice and comfortable. They're not too puffy. One thing that this sweater does is it kind of lifts up the back, and it can be a little bit awkward sometimes, but I like that it resembles a collar, like a popped collar. It gives it a little bit more of like a regal sort of gown aesthetic, like in have you ever seen the movie Return to Oz with Fairuza Balk as a child? If you haven't watched that movie, I definitely recommend it. It's not a kids movie, but it is like a 90s Disney film, and there's parts in that film that are just so like scary and creepy that it's fun to watch as an adult. and when you watch it later, you're just like, how did I not get scared as a child watching this film? But yeah, so this is gonna be my Rhinebeck sweater. I already have my outfit planned, so I'll just be dressing this up a little bit, and I think I might wear my other handspun sweater too if it's cold, or if it's warmer than anticipated. I think that one will be more comfortable in the heat. So this is my nightingale, and it is finished. I think, well, I know that I started this project in or around October of last year, so I got this done in less than 10 months, which is really exciting. Sheep to sweater, so I know that I can do that again. Plus, I think I'll always be knitting cables now because I had so much fun knitting this chart. I've never knit a cable sweater before, and I think that having a chart that is of one design, it really made sure that if you did any errors, you caught it in, you know, the next row of the right side. So I feel like way more confident in knitting cables now, and I'll probably approach patterns that I've bought in the past and then never really followed through on. I want to say Andrea Mallory's honeycomb shawl. Is it the honeycomb? It's something like that. Has cables, and I quickly bailed on that project when I couldn't figure out cables at the time. But yes. Ooh, I just caught something from falling. This is the Kitten room right now. She is in quarantine. When she was vaccinated and spayed, she was kept in a trailer because she's part of the Community Cats program, which is separate than their other intake. She was housed in a trailer that on the other side, another cat tested positive for some type of bad thing, and we just want to keep her quarantined from our other two cats until we can retest her and make sure she didn't at all contract this cat illness. So I don't think she has it, but just so that we're super safe, we're just keeping her in this room, and it's a jungle gym in here for her. Right, so the other things that I have to show you this week are one skein of handspun that I made. This is not the finest example of my spinning, but it is my first skein back from what feels like a long hiatus. It is spun, the fiber content, I should say, is Tessa silk with cashmere and both black and white alpaca, I want to say. And so there is no elasticity to this yarn, and I think because of that, and because I wasn't quite paying attention when I started spinning this, one of my bobbins of singles was totally overplied, and I couldn't course correct it on the ply back of the 2-ply. So you might see areas where there's just an incredible amount of overpliedness. Can I get this to focus? So yeah, I think that the coloring of the yarn kind of hides the fact that it is so poorly spun, but it doesn't mean it's not worth knitting. I'll probably turn this into some kind of tank top garment because it is nice and drapey, like a chemise type design. I think that would be really cute. Maybe something with like a low back that I just wear with like a blazer or some type of cardigan over top, like an undergarment type item. So yeah, this is my handspun. I did bring upstairs to show you the bag of fiber that I spun from because it's not quite done. I can still probably make another skein of this size. I just wanted to get it off the wheel and see what it looked like and felt like. So this is the remaining bump that I combed on I carded on my drum carder, And this fiber, there were like 4 or 5 2-ounce bags of fiber that I got from a friend. Her employer's wife used to own some type of shop, and she was clearing out her basement and got rid of all of these 2-ounce kind of sample packs from Paradise Fibers and all these different types of wool. So I just didn't know quite what to do with 2 ounces, so I just carded them up on my drum carder and waited to see what came out of it. So that is that. It's a project I kind of started and put on the back burner, and I just thought this would be a nice palette cleanser from all of my sort of lanolin rich raw fleece processing. It can kind of get tough on the hands to constantly be combing fiber, because pulling it off the comb is sometimes hard on the skin of my index finger here, and I wanted to just do a easy project, which turned out not to be so easy as a bounce back to spinning after a hiatus. But anyway, that's nearly done. I'll probably spin that up before next weekend just to get it done and over with. And I do hope to cast on a new project tonight to start before the week. I want to start knitting another sweater because I think officially, oh no, I do have my ranunculus on my needles. I might just focus on that instead for the night, because I think just knowing that tomorrow is Monday, I don't have my wits about me to gauge swatch and all that. Or, I should just swatch. I was thinking about not swatching because I already did swatch for this sweater, and then I decided to go up a needle size, but I didn't write anything down, and I think it's just one up from suggested, but I should probably do a proper swatch to know for sure I'm doing what I should be doing. And sorry, the cat is so cute. I have just one other project to show you. It is my start of my first aspen sock. So Diana Walla published in the book Farm to Needle this pattern as either a sock, or they're both like kind of thigh-high sock or leg warmer, and I chose to knit the leg warmers. I thought it would just be easier for me to get away with wearing them twice a week if I felt like it, without washing if they were leg warmers. So I just started the first of 2. I do prefer to knit things 2 at a time, like sleeves and socks and whatnot. I don't knit a lot of socks, but because I also love 9-inch circulars and I don't have 2 of every size yet, I just started the cuff of each, and I have that sitting on some waste yarn, and then typically I'll do like a section at a time, one and then the other, so that they kind of progress at the same time. This one, I feel like maybe it's at a good stopping point to switch and begin the other one, but I think I might instead just keep knitting on this until it's maybe too big to carry as a traveling project, which, it's only one leg, so that probably might not happen. But so this is the front. It's kind of a traditional Gainsey style star type thing, and these diamond patterns on the back with the sort of ribbing increased detail to make room for the calf. And I'll likely, by putting this on waste yarn sooner than later, I can really test the size to see if I want to do as many increases as the pattern calls for, or as many, like maybe a lesser frequency of increases to fit my own leg. And then I can just switch the needles onto the other pair and kind of, if I'm modifying, do the modifications alongside each other on both, so that I don't forget and make the other one different from the first. So I'm pretty excited about this. I feel like it's going to be a nice complement to my wool skirts, which I really want to wear this year. In the last several years at my job, I never dressed up much. I always just wore like leggings or shorts or casual dresses, whatever. And I think in the winter it was just like jeans, jeans. And I think I want to just make more of an effort to be dressed up and feeling good. So, yeah, these are the Aspen socks, or leg warmers, I should say. And oh, these are knit in Quince & Company's Chickadee yarn. It is a fingering weight 3-ply yarn. It's sold in 50-gram skeins, which is really nice if you're doing color work, or maybe you just need less than 3 whole skeins or 4 whole skeins for a sweater, or however many you might need. And yeah, I this is one of the heather colors. I don't know the colorway off the top of my head, but it's like a medium gray. So that's really all I've been working on. I do have, as I mentioned, my ranunculus sweater on the needles. I haven't made any progress on that since I last showed it to you, but I do hope to work on it in a moment or so. And that's really all I have to share. It's just been 1 week since I last recorded, so there's really not a whole lot to show off to you. Wondering how many of you out there are participating in any knit-alongs. I think I might enter some of the stuff I'm doing into some of those, just for fun. I don't think I have the capacity to host my own knit-along right now, but if there's anything going on out there that you're participating in and excited about, I'd love to hear about that in the comments below, so I can kind of get involved in some of this online knitting community stuff happening. I'm always hesitating to join things that were started months ago because I just might have missed some of the details and then realized that whatever I'm doing doesn't apply to the parameters of the cow. So yeah, anyway, that would be helpful to me. And yeah, I hope to maybe record another in a week or two. Obviously, I want to have stuff to show you, so I need to get on that. But thank you so much for watching. I am Taylor E. Owen on Instagram and Ravelry. You can find me on those 2 platforms there. I love making friends on Ravelry because it's fun to see what projects people are adding to and completing in sort of real time if you happen to update those project pages. I know I need to probably create a project page for this garment. I think I forgot to do that with all of the spinning involved, but I'm gonna be mindful to update that and make sure that everything's recorded. So yeah, and feel free to reach out to me on either of those platforms or here in the comments. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm really close to 1,000 subscribers right now, and I would love to get over that hump. So it would help me so much if you subscribe to my channel, if you enjoyed this content, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.